and welcome to my channel. We're back in lockdown again, so there's not too many opportunities to go out and take nice photographs, but I'll try and keep you amused during these somewhat dark January days. Saving money, that's quite an important thing. I certainly think it's quite an important thing at the moment. And I've been looking at and indeed doing bulk loading of 35mm film. I'm more of a medium format and large format shooter these days, although back when I was earning money from my camera I was initially using 35mm film and then digital. Bulk film loading was something that I did back in my youth, in my sort of amateur days. And there's been a bit of discussion online as to whether it's actually relevant anymore, whether it saves you any money really over just buying cassettes of film and using them. There are several different ways of looking at it. This, by the way, is, getting right the way around, a box of Ilford HP5. Well, actually it's not a box of HP5 because it's empty, because that is in my Watson film loader now. My way of looking at it is that bulk loading actually saves wastage. I can't wait to develop a film after I've shot it. I'm really one of these very impatient people, and I will tend to blast off the end of a roll of 36 to kind of just get them done and get things developed. That's quite a waste, and I think this is because I'm used to shooting 12 exposures on 120 and shooting blocks of 12, so you shoot 12 and then if you need more you shoot another 12. That's still only 24, and that's less than the 36 that everyone seems to shoot on 35mm. I've always liked loading up cassettes with what they used to be called, at least in the old days, short ends. In other words, 10, 15 exposures. That's enough. If you're going out for a walk with a camera, unless you're going out all day and you've got something really specific to shoot, that's quite enough and means that you think about all the exposures more. So one of the reasons that I bulk load now is that I don't waste film by shooting more just to get the thing ready to develop. Yeah, people will say, yeah, because you're having to add leader in every time and 3 or 4 shots to get rid of the bit that you fog when you load the cassette, that works out more expensive. I think it actually works out cheaper, but that's for other people to decide. Certainly, if you use one of the cheaper brands of film, I would say, for example, Kentmere, which is made by Ilford. It's slightly thinner film base, but it's still good quality, and that's a lot cheaper when you buy and load bulk. I just like the flexibility, and I do think it saves me personally money in the long run. And it's very good if you're testing things, because you're not having to shoot 36 and thinking, oh, what am I going to shoot all of these on? I'll show you a photograph in a moment of my Watson loader. I can't actually bring it out and show you at the moment because I don't want to put it under lights, because it's actually got 100 feet of film in it, about 80 feet of film in it now. But they're available cheaply online. You'll find them second hand for 20 or 30 pounds, and they're very reliable. They're pretty much idiot proof, but you do need a really dark room or a changing bag to load the film into, because if you get a chink of light coming around a door or something like that, you will fog high-speed film very easily, and you've ruined 60 or 70 pounds worth of film. But I buy the plastic cassettes. I don't try and reload metal cassettes because I find generally they were designed to be one shot and they don't reload very well. If you get some of the old ones from the 80s, they will actually reload quite well, but they're getting old and tired now. So the plastic ones, I think they're made by Kaiser or something like that. You can buy them in packs of 6 or 5 or whatever, and they are actually quite good. You've got to be a bit careful because the tops come off them rather easily. But I put a little bit of masking tape on them just to stop them popping open when you don't want them to. So anyway, that's certainly an idea for saving a little bit of money. Also, it means you can load up a bunch of stuff and you're never short of film, never having to think, oh God, I can't come and do that because I haven't got enough film. And you've always got some handy. That brings me on to why I've been getting more 35mm film. And that's largely because I've got heavily into rangefinder cameras. It was my previous episode, I was talking about rangefinders, or a little bit about rangefinders. I've actually bitten the bullet and gone even more heavily into rangefinders, which I'll show you in a second. This Zorky 3C kind of got the ball rolling for me as far as rangefinders were concerned. I think I was looking at doing a bit of retail therapy in the spring with the first lockdown, and I picked up this lovely old rangefinder, and I can't hold it up too long because it's a bit of a weight, this one, especially with the Jupiter 11 lens and the KMZ finder on it. But my idea was something that I could tuck in a pocket and take with me when I went walkabout in my hour or so's exercise a day. Well, it turns out to be a little bit lumpy for that, even with a standard lens on. It's quite a weight. But it's fun to use, and I really started to get hooked into it. And so, with a bit of working on eBay and checking around, along came a pair of Fed 2s. Now, I only intended to get one. I ended up by getting 2. Sue me. I'll probably sell one at some point. But this one's got an Interstar 61 lens, which I put on there, and there's a collapsible Fed lens on this one. They are quite small, and especially you can see the one with the collapsible lens is just really small, but not particularly light. It'll go into a pocket, but it will drag your jacket down a bit. But it's still a nice, convenient size. It has speeds only from a 500th to a 30th, which is perfectly alright for a walk-around camera. But it's nice because it's really solid and you're not going to break it. But like all of these things, once you've been bitten by the bug, what you want is the granddaddy of them all. And so this came into my life. This is a Barnacks Leica. It's actually a Leica 3B from 1938. It's currently wearing a Jupiter lens from one of the Russian cameras. And it is a piece of absolutely gorgeous engineering. Wasn't super expensive. There's a bit of a myth around Leicas that they're super expensive. The older ones really aren't that pricey. The other myth is that they're really difficult to load. There's a trick to loading them, and that's cutting the leader right. I was a bit worried about it. I got it right first time. I might not get it right next time, but I was feeling very pleased with myself because I got it right. These are really small. I mean, if you compare them with, that's compared to the Zorki, it's really small. And if you actually compare it to Zorki 3, I mean, they look as if they're built for a different format. It's light and it's very, very easy to use. It feels beautiful in the hand. And I kind of always promised myself a Leica, so there one is, but it will not be a case or a shelf queen. This old girl, who's now over 80, will be used and will be used regularly, and I'll be showing you the results from it and discussing the lenses. And there's a slight incompatibility issue with the Russian lenses. If you use ones longer than about 50mm, they don't work well with the rangefinder because there's a slightly different standard at work. But these will work with Canon lenses, and they'll work with early Nikon lenses, Canon rangefinder lenses, that is. And we'll be looking into all of that, and we'll be going on all of that. I will be showing you some close-ups of this because it's a really lovely thing to look at, and it's a truly nice thing to use. I'm reliably informed it didn't come out the factory brown like this. This is the way it's faded with the years from black vulcanite, and actually I think that looks quite nice. Right, so what we need to do is to show you how these are loaded and maybe demystify some of that, and we'll see what I can do with that. Kind of a serious point to all this talk about old cameras and the photo lounge with me shooting 5.4 on my old MPP micro technical. and the 6.6 stuff I do on the Mamiya C330. All of this, aside from the joy of taking pictures, which is just something that I love, I'm also kind of trying to promote loving this old gear again, because we so nearly lost film photography. And digital is wonderful, and I use digital as well, but there's something special about film. And also there's something special about using this old gear, because it's beautifully made. The Russian stuff may be quite hefty and agricultural sometimes, but it's really well made, and it would cost a fortune to buy anything like this now, or have anything made like this now. And I think that, you know, using this is sometimes better than buying new stuff, because the carbon footprint of this has been long since wiped out. There's something to think about. And it's fun, you know? I love these things. Anyway, you all stay safe, and I'll be back with more stuff about 5.4 and 6.6 and rangefinders and all kinds of things. And I think the next thing I'm going to be doing is something about metering. I'll try and put up a few pictures that I took with the Leica on my daily exercise at the end of this. And you take care. Bye.